So I've been spending the past handful of hours working on polishing for the 99th Dan Hamming episode. I'm hoping to release it at midnight, but depending on what happens, I might have to delay it to the next midnight. This has to do with using custom animations in Camtasia 2019 to keep all the custom props I make consistent. The latest custom props have to do with a continuation of fixes to the shades. Though for this latest polishing, I wasn't entirely sure if the latest changes were the latest change I'm currently still implementing is something that will ultimately necessarily improve the episode or really help it to make it more consistent. I'm not sure if the backseat pattern has anything to do with lighting or I initially thought that was a cucumber slice or the material of that back part of the seat. Or the part that touches your back when you're in a passenger seat. I primarily ate at 11 in the morning and then around 3:30 p.m. I would say. As I did work on the 99th Dan Hamming episode. The work I did in the afternoon primarily had to do with adding in some custom props in order to make that in order to ground a one particular scene more in reality. It was to cover up what was caused by basically having two versions of two copies of basically the same Dan Hamming animation capture on different tracks. It could primarily be seen on the Shades frame, so that's where I made rectangle annotations in order to cover those visible issues up. For the salad, Dad initially forgot these olives, which, because the packaging said they were pitted, I was initially cautious that these were going to have pits, and so specifically looked out for them. And when I saw them, was careful when biting into them. That was at first, but then it turned out good. Well, this is a real good meal. It turned out these olives had no pits. These pits came from when I originally suggested basically sliced black olives that you'll find on pizzas here. I think either Wegmans didn't have those sliced olives in the format Dad wanted to get them in, or something like that, so the other day, he got these olives, and which are good. They give a Mediterranean kick to the salad. I hear food from those types of food are pretty healthy for you. In the afternoon, I had pizzeria croutons. I believe the steak marinated for some 2 hours, roughly speaking. Then it took maybe 20 minutes to cook. I believe the whole process behind it all was started at around 6 p.m. and it's minutes to 10 now. So, oh, the steak looked real good when Dad showed it to me. Uncut. Here you can see streaks when I first thought of grill marks. When trying to think of how to describe them. Though I didn't think I could say grill marks. Because I don't think an actual grill was used for the steak. Instead, I believe Dad used the oven for that. This dressing is the dressing you saw is the miso ginger dressing. I officially tried the dressing, or retried it, on the salad I had around 3:30 p.m. and it turned out to be pretty good. So, I ended up requesting that dressing be used. Again, around 6 p.m. was roughly the time Dad got home today. Shortly after that, he gave me a 4-pack of Nutter Butters cookies, and I saved one for himself. Apparently someone been gifting it to him while he's been working as a mailman dad. I spent the last hours of the latest tournament catering encounters on that tournament so that I could get Ancient Wonder relics in exchange. But I didn't get a single. I think I got maybe one relic for the Shrine of the Shroomy Shrooms early on, and it ended up turning into a broken shard, so that greatly helps to explain the lack of progress toward collecting all the runes I need to be able to build it. And that catering is part of why I have so few supplies right now. I'm pretty much at a stalemate in regards to research for the time being, so I'm hoping to put my research or knowledge points into the Heroes Forge, primarily in an effort to boost my production of orcs within my city in Elvenar. I have a feeling there is a point in which further polishing due to diminishing returns leads to you actually making changes that are actually detrimental to the Dan Hammond episode. Detrimental to the episode itself. I have a feeling that I'm getting pretty close to that point, and so what I'm doing now with the back seat and the shade stuff, those new custom props, it may be the last changes I make to the 99th episode. I have concerns that the more custom props, or aka assets, there are within a project for Camtasia 2019, the laggier the finished MP4 will be. So that's part of the whole diminishing returns thing. I think at one point I have it stacked up to 17 tracks in one part. That's somewhere between 4 to 5.5 minutes in. And to get to that point, I had to spend quite a bit of time literally just moving assets up and down tracks, but primarily down. No, wait. It was primarily up. Yeah, primarily up. Now that I think about it again. Primarily up. It was at that same part where I primarily worked to smooth up the frame of the shades as Dan Hemming walked toward the window that Caesar's dad threw himself through. In the early evening, I spent some time, kind of a pretty moderate amount of time, rediscovering RAB, or Retarded Animal Babies. Been about more than a decade since the last episode was released, but this was in response to me watching Saber Sparks' video on the Happy Tree Friends which was big just like RAB was back in the day of the Double Zeros decade, in which I believe I was primarily in primary school.